Rhea Ripley's total absence on Monday Night Raw following Backlash came as a bit of a surprise, not featuring at all. Answers may be given here on SmackDown, where Rhea formally announces that she has switched brands. Feeling that she was heading in a direction that she wasn't liking with the obsession of getting Bianca's title, she switched to a home that has friends and allies to it, a less toxic environment. Of course, there are other inhabitants of SmackDown already. And fresh off her own feud, Jade Cargill has something to say. Two powerhouses meeting in the ring on SmackDown here. Welcome to SmackDown, Rhea. Seemingly both with the same goal, Tiffany Stratton's title. Well, Tiffany was looking for new opponents, having dealt with Nia Jax and Charlotte Flair exclusively for the first 5 months of this calendar year. Looks like there's 2 more names to add to the list. Speaking of adding names to a list though, Drew McIntyre, off the back of losses to CM Punk and then Sheamus, has a foe for tonight, as well as the loudmouth but opportunistic, perhaps, Carmelo Hayes spotted an opening. Sensing that it might be possible to get a big scalp, add a name to his own list. Carmelo, admittedly not hard to, but goaded Drew McIntyre into this match. Though anyone who knows Drew McIntyre, which apparently Carmelo doesn't at this point, despite the fact that he's been on the blue brand for what, about 4 months now, Drew? Thereabouts. A desperate Drew McIntyre is the most dangerous Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre is a man who's dangerous even on his best days. But the self-proclaimed him, Carmelo Hayes, does view this as an opportunity. Still has his sights on the US title for now, but knock off Drew McIntyre. That will certainly put him in a better position going forward for bigger opportunities still. Heck, puts him right back in the picture for the US title itself as well, having lost the #1 contender match. Nonetheless. And, oh, Jesus. Where the hell did he come from? Well, Carmelo Hayes, I believe the phrase is, though he has countered, you may have poked the bear. This match hasn't even made it to the ring yet, and, yeah, Mello. This is why you don't challenge and erase Drew McIntyre. A, he will not fight fair, and B, he will fight furiously. Mello seemingly had the measure of Drew there for a moment, but can't keep Drew down for long. Seemingly you can't keep Mello down for long either. This match is still yet to actually make it to the ring. At the very least, Drew saved us Mello's intro, which can be infuriatingly egotistical at times. And the bell finally goes. Second to nobody, says Mello's shirt. He's already second to Andrade, having lost that #1 contender match. That being, of course, today's main event. LA Knight versus Andrade for that title. LA Knight, a fighting champion, in kind of stark contrast to Chelsea Green, who will try and do anything and everything to get out of that. Including now having 3 Secret Service members. Secret Hervis members, sorry. One of which in action tonight as B-Fab tries to get a revenge on Fallon Henley. As Drew turns this match around once again. Thankfully, at some point we managed to get Mello an opportunity to dispatch of his shirt. The other match already on today's card, of course, is DIY versus Los Garzas for the #1 contenders for the Street Profits title at Saturday night's main event coming up soon. That's the Saturday after next. We've got a number one contender match, a revenge match, and a title match all today. As well as this opportunistic attempt from... I mean, that's... Melo showing what he's good at. Don't make him count him out again. Thank you, Melo. As Drew actually somehow manages to go over the bottom rope as he's rolled back in the ring. Dodges the high-flying attempt, though. And gets control back of this match. To the top rope, Drew goes instead. Slips a bit, somehow. A somewhat flailing jump connects with Melo nonetheless and brings him down. And that's a boot to the face. I suppose we're not getting a not the face shout there. Grabbing Melo by his back of his head and chucking him through across the ring. But Melo, high flying as always, delivering the double kick to the Drew's face. And a chin buster too. Goes for the pin, not quite there, just a 2 though. Melo don't miss, of course. Sorry, I'm so in love with the pun of Melo don't miss. I was actually trying to say Melo don't miss there, and still said the Melo don't miss pun. But Melo might be missing the last minute of his memory after that attack. And, I mean, Drew gave him warning, frankly, and counted him down. Claymore kick to the face. Drops Melo. Just as the crowd starts shouting, fight forever. I'm actually not sure Drew would be booed in this situation. DIY out first for this number one contender match. And they are booed. In fact, effectively, the first 4 competitors in today's match card, I think, will all get booed. Because I don't think Los Garzas are any more like. But DIY, of course, itching to get their title back. I mean, lost it to the Street Profits originally in Barcelona. And Street Profits so far have fended off every challenge since then, including WrestleMania. In this universe. Realistically, DIY and anyone else in this division have got to get their opportunity sorted soon, because it's only a matter of time before Chris Sabin heals up enough for Motor City Machine Guns to be back in the picture again. Probably not looking at a return before Money in the Bank, nonetheless. Little Angel Umberto here. Los Garzas. The challengers for today. Pretty deadly, of course. Attempted to get the title off Street Profits quite recently and didn't manage it. So the other 2 active teams in this division fighting for the next opportunity. And yeah, I was right. Booed as well. It will be Johnny Gargano and Berto to open the proceedings here. And Berto opens it with a huge kick and springboard moonsault. There was a sign, actually, during Los Garzas' entrance there, which said, "We want Ciampa." Well, he was already in the... Well, he should have been already in the ring, but obviously the way the game does it, he was outside the ring, waiting. But I was about to say Johnny's getting momentum back here, but failing. Now... delivers a kick worthy of Monday Night Raw, really. If you missed Monday's Raw, then there were super kicks aplenty over there. About 8 in Jimmy Uso's match with the A-Town Down Under alone, where, of course, his mystery partner revealed to be Braun Strowman. Two men, of course, who made the way from SmackDown to Raw in the draft earlier this year. Teaming up. Only narrowly, really, beating A-Town in the process. New World Tag Team Champions over there themselves. Tag team action on both brands. Fierce. As Berto remains laid out in the ring with Ciampa and Angel now coming to blows. Berto back on his feet though and out of the ring finally. A little bit worrying that he took that long to actually get back out, but his teammates in control at the moment, which is a good sign for Los Garzas. Rhea. Not often in the challenging position, actually, Los Garzas, really. It's been largely DIY and Motor City Machine Guns in real life, with Pretty Deadly popping in now and then. Garzas' opportunities have been somewhat more limited in actually winning the title. But great teamwork there. And in fact, they were only substituted into the WrestleMania match at the last minute due to the injury to Chris Sabin in this universe. As we get closer and closer to WrestleMania in real life, I feel like I'm going to have to make that distinction that little bit more clearer as well. Between real life and in my universe commentary. Of course, in real life, Chris Sabin isn't injured. But, I think the game just had an issue there because the referee was in the way of getting Berto back in the ring. He gets himself back in the ring. But there just wasn't space for Ciampa to throw Berto in the ring, so he just smashed him into the side instead eventually. Goes for the cover, but fails. Berto positions Ciampa against the ropes there, but turns around to deliver this. Again, face to face. Drops him. Both teams bringing in their tag partners. Is now Johnny Gargano versus Angel for the first time in this match, I think. That's the first time this has come in. Thought he was going for the cover, but no. Now he is. There's the not the face shout. One match too late, really. Oh. Slams Angel into his knee there, Johnny Gargano. That's got to have winded the Los Garzas man. He said, I mean, I say that, and he gets up and clotheslines Johnny immediately. Into a unoccupied corner. Gargano counters. Dodges the following attack, but not the one after that. So it was the biggest. I'll be honest, I'm not familiar enough with Angel's repertoire there, but that looked like the beginnings of a pedigree. Which, I presume, might at the very least be pedigree adjacent. Ciampa with a cover, Gargano watches on. 2.99, that felt like. Kicking out just at the last moment. I mean, Ciampa going for effectively the same move, it looks like. But this time, Angel counters. Using the ropes as... Didn't even get a one count there, seemingly, somehow. Backbreaker comes in though. As does Berto. But upends him immediately and goes for the cover. Again, short count there. Berto a little bit fresher. I say, Johnny not been in for a little bit. Referee kind of getting in the way of most of that move as can't really see the best of it. Ciampa rolls out. And Berto follows him, of course, but Ciampa's already back in by the time Berto's out. As is the way in this game. And there's the tag of Gargano. I was about to say a moment ago, actually, it's been a little while since Gargano's been in. But double team action. Gargano hops out the ring to try and splash over it. Roberto's got him in a bit of a lock, but Gargano rolls out. Back into their corner. He tries to take him, Roberto counters. Back and forth this. And now into Los Garzas' corner. Gargano goes, but now Gargano counters. And now Gargano throws Berto back into their corner. And this time, the tag is made. And DIY will get double team, kicking them from both sides. Below Ciampa to cover. Only a 1 count though. Berto surprisingly resilient in that. Despite the cascade of damage he just took there. Prevents another double team though. And trying to escape. Ciampa catches him. Hulls him over. Berto trying to just sort of get back to feet on the outside of the ring. Well, outside of the ropes, I should say, rather than outside of the ring. Just about gathers enough breath to counter and put Ciampa down and to allow his teammate back in. Angel a lot fresher now. Will go to the mid rope. Ciampa counters and takes a surprise roll up. As we said, tag match on Raw, absolute belter. Tag match here, going strong as well. Oof, well that's definitely going to knock the wind out of Ciampa's sails. Los Garzas not on the same page there, actually, because I think Angel was trying to throw Ciampa into their corner, but Berto intercepted Angel's move just by thwacking Ciampa before he got there. Ultimately, though, they've ended up in the corner anyway, and now they get to tag team Ciampa instead. Raising him on high. And dropping him. No one's actually broken a pin yet, so in comes Gargano. No, he's gone for... Wow, he had absolute faith in Ciampa. I thought Gargano was coming to break up the pin, but he's gone for Berto. In fact, they've just disappeared entirely. This might work out. Oh no, he's chucked Berto back in the ring. As well as this might work out if Ciampa goes for a pin here, because Berto can't break it up. But I have no idea where Berto is. Angel kicks out nonetheless. Ah, Berto's rolled out on the ring on this left-hand side, actually. That's where he went ultimately. Angel's back in the ring now. Takes the ropes. Put Gargano down, who must be essentially fresh at this stage, because well, Ciampa's been in the ring for a couple of minutes by himself. Media brings Ciampa back in, though, to double team Angel, who himself hasn't really had a reprieve in a while. Berto is available now on the outside. I don't know if Berto can break this up, because obviously Johnny rolled him into the ring. Yes, he can break this up. Didn't know if that counted as an illegal entry. Well, you know what I mean. That would have ruled him out of doing that, because it wasn't his own decision. And actually, exactly what happened with Ciampa in Los Garzas' corner has just happened with Angel in DIY's corner. Gargano lands a cheap shot on Angel when I think Ciampa was probably looking for the double team. But to the top rope goes Ciampa. He did make Angel bleed with his finisher there. And now, effectively in DIY's corner still. Although, Angel has got Ciampa in a lock now, going for that pin. Neither Los Garzas is fresh. And, yeah, I think Berto might be a little bit concussed. I didn't see what Gargano did to him outside the ring, but good lord, look at both his back and his chest. Ignoring, obviously, the slash tattoo. The rest of his back is now looking like it matches. Like he's almost got one for real on his back. Now this is going to be double team from Los Garzas, high and low. But Gargano rolls out of the ring before cover could be made. Diving over the top rope goes Angel, though. Which won't have given Gargano the breathing room he was looking for. I mean, the angle's difficult to tell, but dumping Gargano on his head, it feels like, outside the ring. Clips him again there. We're up to a 6 count. Got to chuck him back in the ring, really. I think Ciampa is ready and available to break this up. And will do. That's that free pass used. Any further pins on Gargano now. And I think Ciampa as well, because I think Gargano broke one up the other way around recently. Will not be able to be broken up. Los Garzas have it if they can take the opportunity. But double team there. Berto goes for the cover, and this one cannot be broken. But they take the opportunity. 2.99 again, it feels like. We're going for the cover immediately this time, using the ropes as leverage, but Gargano has enough breath back in him again, finally. The kick out immediately this time. Doesn't make the most of that opportunity, although admittedly it was in Los Garzas' corner, but could have easily just been tagged out there by Angel if he wanted to. I think they do need to work on having the tag partner on the outside spot the opportunity to tag themselves in future. That would be a nice addition to the gameplay. Because they just don't do that anymore. At all. Anymore, I said. I don't know if they ever did. But Gargano prevents himself being dragged into that corner. And puts Berto down for now. Takes the top rope. Moonsaults. Let's get to a 2 count again. These tag matches are brutal. And DIY, the most recent tag champions, before the Street Profits, maybe showing why they ought to have the opportunity next again. Cover's broken up though. I don't know where Ciampa was going actually at that point. But grabs hold of Berto and double team action once again. Pulls them up and on to the knees of Gargano. This one can't be broken up. Just going for an extra bit of armor damage because why not? And just a little bit more punishment. Really, maybe ought to have gone for the cover there following the double team because Angel could have done nothing about it. But we're going to get another one high and low this time. And it'll be Ciampa. Still not covering. Will this... Are they going to waste an opportunity here? Maybe not, no. Goes for the cover now. Just getting a little bit greedy, I felt like, maybe towards the end there, but DIY do come out with the victory. It will be DIY with an attempt to reclaim their titles at Saturday night's main event against Street Profits in, 8 days' time. Saturday night's main event comes quite quickly. And now for the... This annoys me every time. B-Fab. Trying to vent her frustrations in her title attempt loss due to the arrival of Fallon Henley. On Fallon Henley now. Should also just quickly add, Nick Aldis quick to react to a situation that developed post Drew McIntyre Carmelo Hayes' match. In trying to console Carmelo Hayes, his tag partner The Miz somehow both A, got the attention of the Viper Randy Orton and annoyed the Viper Randy Orton to the point where there was no other choice than to add an impromptu match to tonight's card. So later on, we will have Randy Orton versus The Miz. And here is Fallon Henley. In her secret Hervis garb, of course. I can't do anything about her interests, I don't think. B-Fab attempts to get a modicum of retribution here, at the very least, for what she perceives to be, well, massive interference, frankly. Wasn't necessarily direct interference, but it was enough of a distraction to put B-Fab off her game for Chelsea Green to capitalise. US Women's Champion held on for another round of attempt effectively on her title, as Fallon, Henley and B-Fab quite literally get to grips in the opening exchanges of this match. Yeehaw indeed. Fallon breaks it, drops B-Fab. We go straight from a grappling match to a slugfest. This is very much frustration venting for B-Fab here. Very little actual wrestling going on. And it's just trying to get her annoyance out of her system. But both times B-Fab comes out worse, and perhaps that distraction carrying over from last week off her game now. But manages to get momentarily back on top here, B-Fab, with a counter. Fallon against the ropes and a huge kick. And she's already primed and ready. The Fallon counters. Not making the most of that opportunity. And now Fallon's ready. Drops B-Fab. Goes for the cover. Kind of feel like with B-Fab's long limbs, she might be able to reach the rope from there. Secret Service member. I was about to say back on top, but B-Fab's back in this. Drops Fallon and takes to the mid-rope. Flying from there. Heck of a jump, really. Simply toying a little bit with Fallon now. Just soften her up a little bit, so she can deliver. I mean, that's a cover. Sure, I'm glad Booker T's not ringside. But Fallon wakes herself back up again. B-Fab dodges that. Very well telegraphed move. And goes for a telegraph move of her own, seemingly. I don't think I've seen that one yet. What was that, B-Fab? All that build-up just to slap her. But resisting that drag. B-Fab slams Fallon down. Fallon, though, not going to take that beating longer than she has to. Thought she was actually about to emulate Rhea Ripley for a moment, then go for a riptide. I mean, that would be a way to sort of honour the newest member of SmackDown, wouldn't it? B-Fab catches Fallon, though, and slams her down. Fallon not done yet. Goes for that very special cover again. And this time it is enough to put Fallon down. Well, she may not have bested Chelsea Green, but she has got a measure of revenge on Fallon. That's both Piper Niven and Fallon Henley that she has put away now. As realistically the most foremost challenger of Chelsea Green's regime so far, Michin, the most persistent and perseverant challenger at the very least. Michin is here to demand a brand new, fresh shot at Chelsea Green's US Championship. Free of interference, a clean challenge. And General Manager Nick Aldis is here to respond to said request. Mostly believing that it might be a bit of a hard sell with Chelsea, knowing Chelsea. So a compromise is in order, maybe. A fresh chance to earn a chance. It'll be a clean opportunity to then earn a title opportunity. Well, it looks like the next plan of attack on Chelsea Green's title is underway already. But SmackDown welcomes the return of Randy Orton once again. Just gonna talk out of commentary mode temporarily. I'm going to presume whatever match he has with Kevin Owens at WrestleMania is going to be brutal. So, it's taken him a little while to get back in action again. But Randy's here. And happy to try to settle a minor annoyance with The Miz, caused backstage by The Miz being The Miz. We know in reality that this crowd will be absolutely belting his title song. I will say this now, the European legs are over. I mean, Chicago, actually not too bad, frankly, but now that the European legs are over, good lord, European crowds hit different. May get a word in edgeways in the promos. Randy ready and raring to go once again. Cena might have 17 now in this universe. I don't think it's going to happen in real life now, personally. Or at least not the way that it's angling up to be right now. He might still get 17, just not by being a heel. Randy's not too far off that record. Depressing, technically neither is Charlotte Flair. But The Miz in action, the first time in my universe actually, but typically, realistically, we only really see The Miz when he is being The Miz. And all his matches are basically due to him annoying someone at the moment. So, unsurprisingly, he's annoyed someone tonight, and that person just happens to be Randy Orton. The crowd already letting Randy know what they want to see. Of course, it is just his initials anyway, isn't it? So, a bit of both, perhaps. Two wrestlers that seemingly operate in the same garb, at least. Old school. No unnecessary fancy extra adornments for Randy or The Miz. At least in the ring. The Miz's coat is ridiculous. Just another old schooler coming up in the main event next in LA Knight. Randy already putting the work on The Miz. It's a smidge on, surprisingly. And The Miz may be learning to let the voices in his head stay in his head rather than immediately coming out of his mouth. Think first, talk second. Especially around Randy Orton. Otherwise, you'll learn a lesson quite quickly. Got him in a lock now. Although Miz actually countering that quite quickly. One of the few things you don't really want to be doing with Randy Orton is enter a slugfest, but the Miz has decided to do that and then goaded Randy. So that's going to end well. I'm about to say off the ropes, but over the ropes as the Miz goes. Raping DDT. Good lord. Miz, I mean, maybe sensibly probably ought to have just let that go half a second longer, because that was almost a 3 count. RKO. This might be a 3 count. Yep. I mean, that was relatively efficient from Randy Orton. Pull out the big hits. Miz is done. Welcome back, Randy. Just in time for Money in the Bank season as well, Randy. You never know. There's a whole bunch of wrestlers that'll be quite spectacular to see have that briefcase this year, it feels like. But a title is defended right here, right now, with no need for a briefcase. This is LA Knight versus the #1 contender, Andrade, out first. Did I not fix his crowd? That's my bad, Andrade. It's been a while since that match. I think I must have overlooked that. It's a good opportunity for Andrade now. The title to his name. LA Knight defending the title once again. Ever since Braun Strowman, there is definitely always security around the arena to prevent Jacob Fatu making an entrance. Well, I think that one was as personal as it was with Jacob Fatu as it was anything else. Braun than anything else. Yeah, LA Knight, yeah. The man that very much wants to let you talk to him. Usually quite often does his talking in the ring just as effectively. Won his title back off Shinsuke Nakamura, of course. And has held it ever since. Yeah! It's the Megastar's turn on SmackDown to defend. That's the title on the line. United States Champion. And yes, now I know that how to get Alicia Taylor to do the intros. She will do the intros. Sorry, Andrade, that's on me. A few cheers, actually. So... the defender. LA Knight. Does the US Championship not have personalised side plates? That's a shame. I knew the women's one didn't, but I didn't know the men's did. Yeah. Just box standard side plates. That's a shame. How difficult is that to code? Sorry. I've been dropped out of... We get things underway with the crowd very much behind LA Knight. And immediately... Is that 3 out of 3 that have started like that tonight? Like, obviously, if you were a player right now, this would be that kind of mini-game thing. I forget what it's called, actually, because I don't have it active, obviously, as an overlay right now. But it's not been all that common in the AI versus AI, but we've just had 3 in a row. Andrade come to deliver a message, said that sign there. Well, usually it's LA Knight that wants to let him talk to you. Off the ropes. Andrade gets a knee up. There we are. Let me talk to you. There's the start. Round. LA Knight Andrade goes. And momentum with the challenger as things stands. LA Knight back to his feet. I'll pretend Andrade dodged that. Rather than that just being a... Dear 2K, let the AI judge distances better, please, for the love of God. LA Knight wise to that. Counters. Takes the ropes. To deliver 2 big boots. Goes for a knee, but doesn't get it. And momentum back again with Andrade. 2 men seemingly like to be on the outside of the ropes to start a move. In fact, I think that move was in both their repertoires. Andrade caught to the rope there a little bit. Acrobatics. I think LA Knight actually just messed with Andrade's plans there by rolling himself into the corner. I don't think Andrade actually wanted him there. It confused him by the time he reached him. We know what comes next here. Elbow drop. Yeah. Cover. As well. Just a 2 count. And LA Knight's ready again here. This could be a quick one. BFT comes out. 2 and change. LA Knight burning through some early offense here, but Andrade's still going. Crowd shouting, "We're not worthy," apparently. I'm slowly getting better at understanding the muffled crowd shouts. That's just dirty, really, a bit. Dragging Andrade to his feet. Was actually another wise move, as Andrade now has LA Knight in his grasp. For your amigos? I do believe it is. Keep up to end it as well, just for razzle dazzle. And he gets LA Knight in his grasp once again. Don't know who actually came out of that one better. As it's now LA Knight with the cover. 2 and change again. LA Knight close for the 3rd time, it feels like, I think, now. Ooh. That has broken Andrade. Bleeding from the forehead / temple area. I'm going to ask you a question, actually, now, viewers. How often do your AI versus AI trading blows end in an actual victor? Because I feel like most of them don't want to count my chickens just yet, end up like this. Because I actually felt like almost that LA Knight was about to come out on top of that one, but I feel like about 80 to 90% of them would just end up with in a draw, and they end up doing that rather than an outright victor. As Andrade stays as well. LA Knight capitalizes. Focusing on Andrade's head in this match, it seems like. And chest again. I don't know if LA Knight just bruises differently or not, but he does seem to be less visually warped. To the corner, Andrade goes. The US champion. All the momentum's behind him currently. The mid rope. Delivers the elbow drop from there. And referee stopping one might be a bit of an ugly sight. Blunt force trauma comes out again. And for all the acrobatics of Andrade, LA Knight retains. Was the crowd shouting one more time at the end there? Well, it's a relatively succinct victory, I feel like, for LA Knight there. Fending off another challenger. And so, LA Knight retains. The US Championship remains with LA Knight, as did the women's with Chelsea Green last time on SmackDown. So both US champions retaining in back-to-back weeks. How long that lasts for either of them. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I will see you again soon. Do like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal by now. Until then, ta-ra.